Welcome to Health Conscious Entrepreneurs, where we uncover secrets to balancing entrepreneurship, life, and healthy habits to achieve radiant health. I'm your host, Ngoc Tai, and today I have my friend Kela Smith all the way from Nashville, Tennessee. Welcome, Kela.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yes, and please share your what you do in your profession and what brings you joy.
Yes, so I am the CEO and program director of a company I created called the Hormone Puzzle Society. And this is a women's health hub for fertility, hormones, and the business of coaching. And I also coach women how to get pregnant and how to eliminate their symptoms of hormone imbalance through my hormone puzzle method and through cycle syncing.
Okay.
All of that in a minute. I actually started this company because of my own personal struggle with infertility. It took us over 2 years to get pregnant. I went the medical route, nothing was working, and I finally got super intentional with my food and my lifestyle, and I reversed my infertility, and so I was able to get pregnant not once but twice. And so now I have my 2 boys, and that they are what bring me joy. This whole mission, my company, everything started out of my need to be a mom, my want to be a mom.
Right.
And now that I am, those 2 boys are just my everything. Every day bring me the most joy that I could ever ask for.
That's amazing. Yeah, family just brings a different dynamic. So you were saying that you try to get pregnant through, and then did you go the Western route for pregnancy, and then you did something differently?
I did. So my husband and I got married, and we thought it would be super easy to get pregnant. You know, you hear your whole life, you know, you have sex and you get pregnant. It's that simple.
Yes.
It was not that simple for us. And so we ended up going the medical route. We did, testing and some invasive procedures, some fertility drugs. Well, the testing resulted in nothing's wrong with either one of you. You're both completely healthy, and we don't know why you're not getting pregnant. So you are diagnosed with unexplained infertility, which is such a frustrating diagnosis, because at least if I had a fertility condition, if I had PCOS or something like that, then I could say, okay, I probably know how to fix this. But with unexplained, it's just like, okay, now what? So I got that diagnosis, and they wanted to kind of steer me toward the route of some assisted treatments. They were trying to get me to do IUI, IVF, and I know a lot of people that works for, but for me, I knew there was nothing wrong with me. I knew I was really healthy, and so I thought that will be there if I need it, but I'm going to try myself first to get as fertile as I possibly can and see if I can get pregnant naturally. So that's what I did. I went to the kitchen and I got super fertile, and yep, we have our 2 boys.
So did you go back to your diet, or did you go to an acupuncturist, or or holistically, what did you do?
Yeah, so I really looked at my diet, and I looked at what I was eating, and I was already healthy, but I wasn't healthy. I wasn't eating for fertility, and it's 2 kind of different things. I grew up in the 80s, so what I thought was healthy was very low fat. I ate like a lot of lean cuisines, a lot of like restricting my calories, and all of these things that I thought were healthy, because that's what made me skinny. I thought skinny meant you were healthy, but for fertility, that's complete opposite. You want to have fat in your diet. You want to have lots of fruits and vegetables, a good amount of food to fuel your hormones. And you don't want to be super skinny. If you're trying to get pregnant, you want to be at a healthy weight. And so that's what I did. I revamped my entire diet. I started researching and reading, and I was like, okay, what can I eat that's going to make me super fertile, that's going to work with my hormones, that's going to make my hormones balanced? And so that's what I did. I just ate, really good lean meats, lots of fat, lots of vegetables, lots of balanced whole foods. I stopped eating anything processed. I got rid of the lean cuisine. I got rid of all the processed food. I took sugar out of my diet, and that it worked because I got pregnant naturally.
That's crazy. Because we actually don't realize how much of those packaged food, it's like we say frozen food, the convenience is there. They make it for us, right? We just pick it up, we put it in the microwave and all that sort of stuff. But there's a price that we're not realizing, right? That it's creating, because they have to preserve the food.
Mhm.
And then they have to put chemical to preserve the food so it tastes good. Then we're
Mhm.
eating it, and so it causes our hormones to be imbalanced, right?
Exactly.
And
Yep. And
so,
you know what's so crazy? All those years when I was eating that way, I had terrible stomach issues.
oh
I
my
used to
goodness.
have bloating and cramping. I was always in the bathroom. The minute I started eating real food, my stomach issues have gone away. I no
Yes.
longer struggle with that. And it's just crazy to think that you think you're eating healthy, lean cuisine, that's healthy, right? No,
Mhm.
not healthy.
Yeah, it's all a lot of marketing. I feel a lot of our food is like these nice branding, marketing telling you, oh, this tastes so good, but they're putting a lot of flavors and a lot of chemicals in the
Exactly.
food. And we
Mhm.
don't realize it because we take it for granted that these companies are creating these kind of products for us to eat to be healthy, and they're marketing us being healthy, but their end result is not really healthy. We have to go back to the basic, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I really want to know more of what you were saying, the hormonal puzzle. What is it?
The hormone puzzle method.
Okay, the hormone puzzle. Let's go on that first, and then we'll go into the other one. So what is that hormone
So
puzzle method?
these are all the steps that I took to get myself pregnant naturally. And so
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to think of a way that I could get all the pieces that I thought my hormone puzzle needed. And so puzzle is an acronym, and it
Mm-hmm.
stands for proper whole food nutrition, understanding supplements, zapping stress, Z's, love and encouragement, environment, and exercise.
I
And so
love
these
that.
are all the things that I worked on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, that I was trying to provide homeostasis in my body, which is balance.
Mm-hmm.
And so all these steps are just an easy way to remember, okay, am I working on proper nutrition? Am I working on supplements? Am I getting enough sleep? Am I stressing too much? And so it's just a really easy way to remember things to do to boost your fertility naturally.
That's awesome. Because
Yeah.
I feel like our body, I keep in all these summits, I keep saying our body is like a machine,
Yeah, it's a
right?
computer. It's a big computer, and it needs fuel to run, and it needs all of these things. And yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
And
And give
I called
it
it a
like good.
hormone,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
I called it a hormone puzzle because I feel like if one piece is out of balance and out
Mm-hmm.
of place, then you don't get the full picture of your health. And so
Mm-hmm.
like something is off. And so when you have your hormone puzzle operating properly, you have balance in your body, you're as fertile as you can be, you're as healthy as you can be, and
Mm-hmm.
everything's working the way that it was intended to work.
Yeah. And it's like, it's so, that's why this whole summit is like, let's talk about this. How do we balance spiritual, emotional, physical, financial, and all these are, things that makes us who we are. And our body is like, that's what we need to take care of, this machine with good food, good water, good diet, good music, good things that brings us joy so that we come back to homeostasis, right? So that we come back to living the life that we're supposed to live. And then how many people have you helped already with your hormone puzzle method?
Yeah, hundreds, thousands, maybe. Yeah, tons and tons of people that weren't having their period, weren't ovulating, had been struggling with infertility for years. I had a lady recently, 10 years, no period, couldn't get pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
tried everything. And finally, she came to me. We changed her diet up. She lost a little weight. Her period came back the first month. And then within 6 months, she was pregnant.
Oh
And
my
she
God.
now she's like 9 weeks pregnant. And so it's crazy what food and what little tweaks can do to improve your health.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel too about my water, right? It's like I tweaked my water and then my inflammation went away and all that other stuff I was having went away. So I'm drinking alkaline water. So now I feel like my body's more balanced now. It's just the same thing. It's like the foods, like how do we tweak little things that we do to get our body back into balance? And it's pretty powerful. What you're doing is so powerful.
Yes, I
You know
know.
what?
I love it. It's such a passion of mine. It's
Yes.
you always hear, what did God put you on this earth to do? Well, this
Mhm.
is what I was put here to do. And I think
Yeah.
I just went through my journey so I could help others. So yes, it's so powerful.
Yeah. It's because when you're able to now impacting lives
Mm.
through helping women, have children, it's like, that's like, that's you're impacting generations of people, right? Like, it's like, that's like, wow, that's
Amazing.
unbelievable. Yeah.
Thank you.
And it makes you, when I hear that, it just makes me feel so good knowing that I met someone else out there that were creating impact through doing something, you know, that is so simple as just sharing what you know, sharing your journey, sharing your tips and things like that. And that's amazing. All right, so the other topic you were talking about, and I can't even, like, what is it?
Yes, cycle syncing.
Cycle syncing. What is cycle syncing?
So this is a functional medicine concept where a woman partners her food, fitness, work life, and social life with the phases of her monthly cycle. So she's eating certain foods and doing certain activities during certain phases when her hormones are high, or she's eating certain foods to detox her hormones once she goes through her cycle and she needs to detox. So it's really giving your body everything it needs during the phases of the cycle when it needs it the most. So again, you're providing homeostasis in your body. You've got this balance. Your body's flowing. It's working the way that it should. And it's amazing. I mean, I have people come to me that they just start doing this and then their cycle comes back. It gets regulated. Their periods get better. They get less cramping, less bloating, less PMS, all of it. It's like a light switch. You've turned the light switch on and now it's functioning at full capacity. It's truly amazing.
That is amazing. And so because our body as a woman, we go through these crazy cycles, right? And our stress level, right? Impacting our body and all the mental state. And I'm sure it throws everything off when we're not, like you say, cycle syncing to our cycle. And that's like an amazing concept. Like, I think I want to learn more.
Yeah. Definitely. And I get this question a lot, like, who can do cycle syncing? So if you are pre-teen and you have not started your cycle yet, you have to wait until you start your cycle. And if you've gone into menopause, you can still do it, but you will be following the phases of the moon, not your cycle, since you don't have your cycle anymore. But following the phases of the moon can make menopause a lot more pleasant because your body you're creating this natural circadian rhythm. So again, it's balanced, even though the hormones are lower, you're not cycling, but you can still benefit from it. So pretty much anyone.
How did you learn all this stuff?
Lots of research, lots of being a guinea pig myself, studying. It's just, when I learned about this, it was such an amazing concept. I've just dug into it. And there's not a lot of people talking about it, but it's the people that are really, really love it. And the people that are doing it are like, you know, they will never stop.
Yeah. Well, yeah. After the show, we're talking some more.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's amazing. I guess I'm like, you mentioned it. It's like, what do you mean? Cycle syncing? What does that mean? So that's why I love this show. It's like, I'm learning so much stuff. I mean, it's like, all these new terms, having these meaningful conversation and providing information so that we can help people like understand that there's so much more than just, you know, what modern medicine is. There's a whole holistic side.
Exactly.
Right? And the more we talk about holistic side, the more we bring awareness that there is another way of looking at the way we are, right? And the way we're eating and the way we're taking care of our body. How do we look at it a different way, right? Just opening our eyes up to there's different possibilities that we just don't know about it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Until we meet someone like you, I'm like, oh, okay.
Right. Yeah.
And I get to learn more about it. And so when people sign up for your program, is it like a 6-week, 8-week, or like a month? Like, how long is your different programs that you provide?
Yeah, so they're 12 weeks. I have one that is strictly online. So you watch videos, you have worksheets, ebooks, you do action steps. So I have that one. Then I also have one that is one-on-one with me. So you still get all the videos and all the worksheets, all of that, but you also get me weekly. So we meet by phone and it's a lot more customization. I have you fill out a very in-depth medical questionnaire where I'm looking at, where are your hormones at? What is your age? What are you struggling with? Do you have any fertility diagnoses? All of that. And then I work to put together a customized plan so you'll know exactly what you should be doing for your body and your situation. So it's pretty cool. And the other piece to that too is you have the support and accountability of a coach and of somebody who's been there, who's been through infertility. And I can't tell you how many of my clients just will be texting me at all hours, or like, they just need me. They need that person there. And it can be very powerful. It's some of the, they're like, I love all the nutrition information, all the stuff you give me, but that accountability and support piece what's the word? Priceless. It's
Priceless, yes. Irreplaceable.
Yes, irreplaceable. Yes.
Yes, and that's why when a lot of the experts I talk to, we always talk about there has to be a community of support, right? End of the day, we go through our day, we do all these things, but we have to have like someone who helps us, like as a coach, a mentor, and a community that we can share our problems, that we can have a shoulder to cry on, or somebody to just like, hey, can you just listen to me for a little bit? I just need to just get this thing off my shoulder, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes our partner really doesn't understand because like they're guys, you know what I mean? It's like they know some things, but some things they don't know, where our emotional state, or just needing that other female support to understand what we're going through, and the voices in our head that keeps telling us certain things.
Right, exactly. Well, that was what happened with me when I was struggling with infertility. I would go to these doctors and I would come home, and my husband was so tired of hearing about it. He was like, would you just drop it? I was like a dog with a bone. I was like, I'm going to get this baby. And so he didn't want to talk about it, and I just needed somebody. But I didn't have a coach. I didn't have a mentor. My friends weren't really going through this. So it was like very lonely.
Yeah.
One of my pieces of my practice, I'm like, I want to be that support system. I want to be there to hold your hand, to give you love, to give you encouragement. So it can be very powerful and a very needed piece to your fertility journey.
Yeah, that's so important, and of course, it's tough. And what is your husband saying now that you have 2 kids?
He loves it. He loves it. If I was about 5 years younger, I'd have another one, or try to anyways. I had my second at 40 years old. So I am in my mid 40s, and I think we're done.
Yeah.
But we love our boys. They're the best.
I think when we're older and having kids, I think it's a different kind of mindset in raising children. Yeah, like versus when you're in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s and 50s, right? When we're having kids as we're older, I think our mindset is different, right? Because we're more mature, we're more stable, we have things that's in place and we can provide for them better because our career is already set a certain way, versus like in our 20s, we're still struggling, like going to work or going to school and like having this kid, and then how to balance all that. I think it's tougher.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And the fact that I just wanted these kids so much, like I did everything possible to have them. And I think that makes me appreciate them so much more because I did go through that struggle.
Yeah.
So being an older mom, maybe that wouldn't have happened to me in my 20s, and I wouldn't love them as much. Not say that I wouldn't love them as much, but I wouldn't be as appreciative as I am now.
Yeah. I think it's a different kind of love.
Yeah.
And a different kind of teaching, and it's like you're much more patient as you're older.
Yes,
right?
definitely.
and you're like looking at their life in a different set of eyes, because as parents, we when we're kids, we go through life and we don't really see these things and we don't remember. But as parents, what I appreciate as being a parent is that I can look at my child and I can see the development, the changes, and the little things they do, that like their experiences in life, that's just so simple, that as kids it was so simple. As adults become more complex.
Right. Yes.
Right. It's just like kid talking the chit chat. Like I love it when my son was small and I still have a recording of his voice, and his little voice talking, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, those are so cute, you know, back in the day, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's so funny. So my 4-year-old and my 7-year-old, they're like best friends. And so they'll be on the couch, like having this whole conversation with each other. And I'm like, they're like these little people. It's the cutest thing ever.
Yeah, and it is. And I think when our kids too, is like when you show them love at a young age, when you see them and you're guiding them, they just become such better adults, you know.
Definitely.
More aware, more like you know, paying attention, you know, more appreciative, I think, because of the what you're building for them at a young age, where different when your house is a chaos, or you know, you're it's unstable, right? Like now what you create is a beautiful environment for the kids to grow and become better adults.
Yes.
That's so powerful. Oh, that's amazing. So what else can we learn from you as a woman? I know that we don't take care of ourselves.
No.
We're not priority. We're always like, everybody is a priority, right? And if you're a businesswoman like yourself, like we have a kids for you. We have a household we have to take care of. We have a crazy career, crazy business, all that stuff. So what secrets do you share for women that would help them in balancing the things that we do in our life?
Yes. So a couple of things. One, I am a big proponent of look at what's in your life, and if something is not serving you, either delegate it or get rid of it. Mm-hmm. So I don't care how hard it is to do that. If something is not serving you, then it doesn't need to be in your life.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Then I'm a big believer in block scheduling and making sure that you have a plan. I'm type A, as I know a lot of business
I can tell.
women, type A. So I am scheduled. Everything kind of has its place in my home. Everything has its certain structure to my day, so that things that are important get taken care of, things that need to be done get done. I also have very strict boundaries. I quit work at 3:30 when my son gets off the bus. Now it's family time. I don't work on the weekends. I have clients that want to meet with me on the weekends, but I have that boundary in place, and I say, no, that's my family time. In my office these hours. So have a great schedule, have some block scheduling where you're kind of organizing your day, and have strong boundaries, and take anything off your schedule that does not serve you or out of your life. Yeah. Those are my tips.
That's awesome. And then what do you do for self-care?
Oh, I love my self-care. So I have a very strict bedtime routine. So at 7:30, my kids are in their bed. I'm in my bed. I'm reading. I listen to my Calm app. I have my diffuser with my aromatherapy, and I spend an hour just with myself. I'm either journaling, or I'm meditating, or I'm doing something to ease me into sleep. So that hour is very sacred. That's one of my self-care hours. I read a ton. I love to read. And so I'm reading in there, anything on fertility, hormones, getting pregnant, even entertainment books. Sometimes I'll just read something for fun. So that's some of the self-care that I do. And I love to work out and be active. So that's another piece of self-care where, I want to be in nature. I want to be working out. I want to be moving my body. So yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, of all the experts I've talked to, you have just such amazing regimen. That's awesome. And I have a hard time because I balance so many things, and sometimes that's the challenge that I have, and I'm sure a lot of us do, is that we're balancing so much, and sometimes we forget to take care of ourselves. We just we don't let ourselves be a priority, and then we just try to juggle all the other deadlines, all the requirements of getting a business, running a business, and the family and the children. And then our health end up suffering. So that's why I'm like, this for me is like, okay, you're talking about this thing to expert. You're like, oh, this whole show, this whole summit. So you need to practice it.
Practice what you preach. Yes.
Exactly. You have to practice what you preach, and make sure that what you're learning from everybody, make sure that you start putting something in place, otherwise you become a hypocrite and say, okay, you learn all this stuff, what are you doing with it?
Right. And it does get easy once you kind of get all this in place, and it's like, this is your new routine. Now I just do certain things because it's my habits, It's even think about it. It's just like, this is our routine. We just go along about it. And everything runs so much more smoothly when you have that in place. So it's really amazing.
And the kids too, I'm sure they're happy too, because the kids need routine, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they don't need you to like do this one day and like this a couple hours later and you switch them around. They're like as confused, and then so it's better to just get them like on a routine until they're older, where like, okay, now they have their own little things, or the habits that's established, and they're doing certain things. That's awesome.
Yes. That's why I'm so glad here. I don't know about everywhere else, but here we're back in school, and I'm so glad because now our routine is kind of, when we were out of school, it was thrown off a little bit, which was crazy. So I'm glad we're in school.
Yeah, well, in California, the kids are still at home in school online, which is, it's hard for them because, they're not really socializing with other kids, right? They're at home on the computer, like learning from the teachers. But I think what I see though, it's great for the teacher now.
Yeah.
I think the teacher, I don't know, I have to do a survey on teachers and see how they're appreciating working from home, like, just in their own space and teaching kids online. I don't know, it'll be interesting to see what they say, how they feel about that.
Yeah, definitely. I think it would be really hard though, because you don't have that social interaction or that touch, I don't know. I'd be curious to ask a teacher too.
Yeah, we'll have to do that next. Like, get the teachers on the summit and say, hey, what do you think of this whole situation from working from home? Awesome. So I have one last question, the special question that I always ask my expert.
Okay.
So that question is, if you have any superpower to change the world, any superpower to change the world, what would that superpower be and why?
Oh gosh, I would want to put a spell on the whole world where everyone got along. And so we had world peace, everybody loved each other, and that was their only option because they were under this spell. So that would be my superpower.
Yay. Yay for world peace. Let's do it. And so for people listening to our summit, we have an offer that we're giving away, and
so I am giving away my Cycle Syncing Quick Start Guide, which is a beautiful ebook which will tell you everything you need to know to start cycle syncing, and you can get that on my website at coachkela.com.
Awesome. And we can find you on Facebook, and you also have your new podcast. Tell us about your podcast.
Yes. So the Hormone Puzzle podcast launched on September 1st. We launched with 5 episodes, and this show is about education, inspiration, stories of hope, my personal story with infertility, as well as me interviewing experts in the field from Eastern medicine, Western medicine, all modalities. And it's just a wonderful place for anybody who's struggling with infertility, struggling with hormones, where they can come, listen, laugh, cry, get support, and just have a great time. So, and it's awesome. You can hear it on any platform. It's on iTunes, it's on my website, and all the major podcast platforms.
That's awesome. Congratulations. I think, being part of this is so I'm grateful that I found you, and I'm grateful that we're having this conversation and providing all this useful information for other female going through infertility or just overall taking care of our body.
Yes.
And it's so important that we start slowing down, take care of ourselves, so that if we're sick, no one can take care of us, right? We have to take care of ourselves before we can take care of anybody else.
Exactly. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.